Hey guys, I'm wrthcrw, a professional Apex Legends coach who's worked with over 300 students across all skill levels, both casual and professional. Today, I have a session where I highlight how to actually improve your aim on controller and your consistency using positioning and thoughtfulness. These secrets are abused by really talented controller players in the Tier 1 scene and will help you understand how to actually aim, as well as the weaknesses and strengths of the input. If you guys enjoy the coaching content, be sure to subscribe and like the video. And if you want your own coaching session, check out the description below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get in the video. Okay, one of the core things, so how much do you know, how much do you actually know about, controller in general? Like, how the input works and stuff like that, like aim assist, stuff like that?
So I know, rotational aim assist, it'll correct changes in movement, at least get me started in that direction. As far as how much it goes before my input will override it. Not as much on that front, but I know rotational aim assist will move it. There's, I guess, bubble kind of would be the best way to describe it around the enemy.
Yeah, everyone describes it as like a bubble.
Yeah, where it'll turn on and off. And then I know in Apex, an input needs to be made on the player's end for it to take effect. If I just sit there, put down my controller, no input's made, aim assist won't go in. But if I just move my stick a little bit, then aim assist will turn on.
This is why people actually like stick drift, because it helps with really fine precision. So let me talk a little bit about just some aiming stuff on controller in general. A mouse and keyboard. We have this as a tool to be extremely precise, right? We have extreme precision. The one thing that controller has over MNK, or sorry, the main disadvantage of controller, that is just flat out always a disadvantage, is the fact that you basically have no precision. It's really hard to be very precise on a controller just because of the way that the joystick works, right? It's a circle. It's a circle, and you have to move it very little to actually move, and it's not very well proportional. But the advantages of this is that we have infinite smoothness, right? Infinite smoothness, and we have infinite range of motion as well. Range of motion being how much we can actually turn, right? You can just turn infinitely on a controller. The thing about controller is that we also have the advantage of the fact that we also have we have a minimum and a maximum. You can't move your mouse at a maximum. The maximum defined on your mouse is determined by how fast you move your arm, right? That's never a set value, but how fast a player can move their joystick is a set value every time. Like, you don't have a bigger joystick, and if you do, it's the same exact value in game. It's only multiplied by sensitivity. So the number one thing we're looking to avoid, the number one thing we're looking to play around, is the fact that we don't have good precision on controller. Okay, when someone's strafing in a way that requires us to move our joystick, at least somewhat, but not too much, it's really hard to hit them, right? Like, making fine micro corrections is really difficult. Yeah. This is the whole philosophy. Since you watched my strafe video, the whole idea behind mirroring, anti-mirroring, right? Mirroring. It's very difficult to make micro corrections for a mirror. That's the whole thing about what mirroring is about. So if you start outside, or if they start outside your crosshair, it's very hard to get back into the crosshair. You have to make a very conscious effort with your aim, with your movement, to actually recorrect onto them. But this is also why anti-mirroring is the preferred strafe aim form for controller, right? Because again, if I'm on MNK, what my mouse pad looks like is that my mouse pad starts here, or my mouse starts here on my mouse pad, and it gets over here. And by that point, I can't move anymore, right? I can't aim anymore. My aim is stuck. I have to reset my mouse, which is, a period of downtime. On controller, that's not true at all. You can literally just infinitely spin, and additionally, when anti-mirroring people, the reason why 4-3 linear is really good is because one of the reasons is because this anti-mirror is basically the perfect way to just throttle out your joystick, right? This is always just what this is. It's always just moving your joystick to the far right here, or far left. Whatever direction you or the enemy are going in here. When you're moving overall, you should try. It's easier to move your joystick more, which is kind of the opposite of how it is on MNK. you always want to look to try and establish the most amount of distance between you and your opponent, and also you want to make sure that you're being very conscious of the range that you fight people in, right? I said this earlier, but since you don't really want people too much, I want to kind of give this idea to you. I'm sure you've seen me since you watched the Strafe video, you've probably seen this before, but this is the top down view of an opponent. This is their view cone, right? This is their movement axes. So if they're moving left and right, this is the way that they're going. There's 3 ranges we can fight in. There is close, medium, and far. We also have 2 hybrids of medium far and close medium. So aim assist is really sticky in a certain range. Do you know what range that is?
In that like close, medium, a little bit of close, but at a certain point
Yeah,
it
like
gets
here,
taken
right?
away.
Yeah, like right
Yeah.
here, right? Yeah. This is a really good. This is basically the aim assist range of Doom. This is where people are at this, because if someone's closer to you, they're bigger, right? But bigger also means that they displace themselves more on their screen faster, right? And someone's further away from you, they're smaller, but that means they don't move as much, right? Trying to hit somebody all the way over here is really hard because they're really small and they basically move like this. And trying to hit them requires really fine precision. This is not the advantage of controller. And also, when someone's this close to you and in your face this fast, it's really hard to hit them because they move so fast. Your aim assist literally cannot glue to them because they're on your screen, off your screen, on your screen, off your screen, off your screen, on your screen, on your screen, off your screen, right? It's so hard to hit people like this. When you're engaging with people, you always want to try and manipulate them to be in this range here, okay? Obviously, they can be outside the range. They can be closer to you. But this is where I would say the skill gap is, right? Because everyone's gonna go, oh my god, every controller player can hit everybody in this range, right? Everybody's gonna say that all the time. But the controller has no skill, and they always die in this range, right? Majority of clips where people say that, it's always in this range. By the way, if you don't want to die a controller, don't be in this range. But if you want to be an actual good controller player and you want to understand where the skill gap is, this is the close range and the medium range. And even then, the skill gap in close range is that you just don't fight it. What you do instead? What do you do if somebody is right here to you?
You create space.
You back it the fuck up, right? Yeah, you create space. Yeah. You back it up so they can't, right? If someone's walking at you or someone's trying to take space on you, by the way, no one ever does this. Everyone goes in game and goes, all right, hey you, I'm fighting you. Yeah, let's fight, and then you both do 80 little dances in place. That's all that ever happens. But in case you're fighting a movement player or somebody that's smart and knows how to strafe, those are not the same thing, by the way. Movement players don't know how to strafe. Movement players do stupid shit all day, and sometimes they get close to you. But in case
if somebody's like super glide tap strafing, I actually get giddy because I'm like, oh, they don't. If I catch them in the open, they're just screwed.
Yeah, they're just dead. They don't know how to do anything. But if you move closer to this person, if you move closer to, if this person moves closer to you, but you back up at the same speed, this person is never gonna get any closer to you, like ever, period, right? Because you just both you both have the same speed. The only way that this person's getting closer to you is if they like slide jump, super glide, you move like their octane stimmed or something like that. But if they're walking straight at you, you can kill them, right? It's really easy to just kill somebody who's just walking at you, right?
Straight line, yeah.
So, the like anti-aim assist strafe and stuff like that doesn't really, well, it exists, but no one knows how to do it. I'm not really gonna cover it here because it doesn't matter. Basically, the number one thing you need to avoid is people in this range. When people are in this range out here, medium far, you want to make sure that you're trying to get closer to them. However, there's one core thing that changes how all of this works, and that is scopes, right? Because everything that I'm talking about here is how you visually perceive the enemies, right? If you have a scope, that can basically translate this close medium range to the medium far range, right? Like a 3x or a 2x even. A 2x when you ADS makes the area like this instead, which is how you actually are able to compete against people in this, because all it does is just change your FOV. If people start moving faster, this is where you start to start to do better. It takes a lot of mental acuity to think about what range you're engaging people in and how you actually need to aim against them. But as a general foreground note, just keep in mind that the more you move your stick, typically the better it is, because fine precision doesn't really exist. You need to not be in a range where precision matters so much. And as we start to go down this range. Let me real quick. This. There we go. Yes, and as we start to go down and down this range, right? The further down they are, this needs more and more precision. The further down they are, right? The further up we go, the more we need range of motion. But like I said earlier, you have infinite. And then you also need better smoothness. But guess what? You have artificially inflated smoothness because of aim assist, right? And even when someone is saying, like, even when someone is right here, anti-ring people basically gives you an extension of this range to something like this, maybe. Because if you're always moving the opposite way that someone else is going, that's when rotational aim assist kicks in. That's when that's when your joystick gets throttled out. That's basically the sweet spot to being able to hit people a lot more consistently. This is basically the first step you're going to need to think about really heavily when aiming. It's basically the skill gap, right?
Yeah.
Did you see my tweet about Koyful?
That's what made me reach out for a session.
That's yeah. So, I've got an influx of students, so just for in case this goes on YouTube, in case anybody wants to see it, let me go and pull it up real quick.
Because I thought about reaching out for a while, and then the Koyful clip,
this one.
And I saw it, and I was like, that's 100% the skill gap is like.
Koyful is the skill gap for controller. He has a lot of really good straight fundamental knowledge. He has really good just understanding how to actually aim at people. Like, his move is so much more, right? His strafe is such a big factor into his consistency overall. He actually does the thing that I've been talking about for months and months and months, right? And just go ahead and just shut the clip real quick. This is such a good clip. I want you, after everything I've told you about now, to watch this clip again and watch how he's moving, right? Yeah. He climbs up on this guy. This guy doesn't expect it, so he gets the initial advantage on him, right? Then look, anti-mirror, boom, one clip, right? This guy isn't even looking at him, so it's like a free kill, right? Anti-mirror, boom, dead, right? Just straight up, perfect. He's in the perfect range. He's anti-mirroring. It's just it's easy, right? Well, okay, it's not easy. It requires mental acuity and trained knowledge to know how to aim at this, right? But still, it's something that is not as hard as you think it is, just as long as you have the knowledge needed for it, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like you can tell when you watch this, like his strafe isn't just random. Like there's a conscious effort.
Yeah, exactly. He's just strafe aiming majority of the time, and he's strafe aiming. It's important to note that strafe aiming like this a lot of the time, if you've taken everything I've said and you just go do it, you're going to die because you're playing against other controller players. The majority input in this game is controller, and if you're setting yourself up for your advantageous position, well, the opponent, who's also on controller, is also at the advantageous position, right? The reason why he strafe aims here is because he gets the jump on this guy. He starts shooting first. He can close the gap on this guy way quicker than anybody else can, right? No matter what, even if this guy's hits every bullet and fires back in the anti-mirror here, Koi's still gonna win, no matter what. He has the conduit Q. The opponent is, cut off guard, and the opponent misses every bullet. He only gets the ability to shoot one shot because of his gun, right? And then he gets one clipped. This guy is not even looking at. And this guy, I don't think he took any damage here, but the opponent. I don't think anybody else shot the opponent, but still, it's a 1v1. He can afford to be a little bit more egregious with the way he's aggressive here, right? You kind of have to be aggressive to kill people. Another example of what I really like is actually, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and get to the next. So another thing that controller is really good for specifically is needing to minimize your mouse input. So, or not mouse input, your crosshair movement. So when I coach a lot of controller players, the number one thing I want you to focus on is specifically your angles on people, right? Now, I don't really mean angles means two things. It's either one, kind of like a macro idea of how you're fighting people. For example, like if there's a guy in a box here, there's a guy over here shooting this guy, and a guy over here, and a guy right here. So this guy is angled out, right? That's not necessarily what I mean. I more so mean the angles on which you're fighting somebody, right? So, for example, if you're here and you're here, this is a straight this is a straight line, right? But if we're looking at a fight like this, for example, this is a 45-degree angle here. The main difference that's percent, not degree. This is a 45-degree angle. The main difference between a 45-degree angle and a straight, like, I guess this is 90-degree angle, is the fact that this person's strafe is overall less effective than most people's. Because if you're fighting somebody head on, right, their movement axis looks like this, right? They're moving left and right. They have full dodge on you, right? This person has 100% dodge on you, right? If we consider the alternative, this is actually, that's better described as 0. But if we have the opposite, right, we have this, where this person's strafe looks like this, and this person's strafe looks like this, right? My phone is going off. There we go. And this person's strafe looks like this. This person has 0% dodge, right? This is a 90-degree angle, and you know why this person has 0% dodge, right?
Because they're perspective to the person shooting. There is really no movement.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you might go, well, why would this person just not dodge you? Well, there's plenty of examples as to why somebody would. One, you catch them off guard. Like, for example, that Koyful clip. He climbed up to his side. That guy's strafing left and right. Doesn't matter. He's gonna kill him, right? Your teammate's fighting somebody, or this guy's fighting your teammate. Your teammate's plastered right here. These guys are at a good these guys have 100% dodge to each other, but you're third partying the fight, quote unquote. This is how most team fights should go. But still, this enables this person to fight at like way better capacity, right? Even if this guy misses all of his shots, this guy's gonna hit at least like 80% of his shots, right? At the very least. And so the 45 right here is really important to understand because of the fact that this is also another favorable position for controller to be in. Basically, a lot of what aiming on controller is setting yourself up in favorable micro positioning to abuse the fuck out of the input you're on, which is, fine. So if you're ever fighting somebody diagonally, right? If you ever have a diagonal angle on somebody, this person can't really move very well. I want to illustrate an example by, let's draw a wall here, right? Let's draw a top-down view of an opponent here, right? Top-down view of an opponent. And then you can go in one of 3 positions. There's also 4 and 5, but they're the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So this guy can move a couple directions, right? This guy can move this way. This guy can move this way. This guy can move this way. This guy can move this way, and this guy can move this way. Okay. So, if you're to pick between 1, 2, or 3, which is the best position?
2.
Why 2?
I can cut any angle that I really want from 2. If he comes out, say, towards where like the 4 position would be, I can move over in that direction, cut off that angle from him.
Exactly.
And also, he can't go left on me because he's just going right into a wall.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So it makes it predictable where he's gonna go.
Exactly. 2 and 3 are right answers, by the way. They serve different purposes. 3 is better for controlling space. However, the opponent has full dodge on you. They can't move backward, right? So it's not technically full dodge, but like this. But this guy's not really gonna be able to move backwards. And anyway, most players in this game don't do it anyway. Does it really matter? It matters a good bit, but not too much, right? 3 is better for kind of in a more equal fight, or a fight where you may be on a disadvantage or something like that. 2 is better for overall lethality. Like I said, the 45, right? Remember, if you're anti-mirroring somebody and you're both on controller, well, you kind of need something to be able to kind of edge it out, whether you catch them off guard or you have like a Kovaak gun or like a purple mag RNI or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So you don't always want to take the most lethal position, but for starting out and understanding how to actually aim and get these clips, kind of skill gap people, this is a good way to understand how to do it. Okay. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything I've already told you is basically how you close the skill gap on controller. Period. I'll go ahead and hop into some rank clips so I can kind of go watch your rank gameplay and get an idea of how you take these like team fights, especially because you're stacking these, right?
One of them I'm stacking. One of them is duo queue. This one's the 2. Number 2 is a stack.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This one's stack.
Yeah. I'll go and watch. I'll go and watch the stack instead of the duo unless we have extra time. But does everything I talked about make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And a lot of it, I mean, it does build on like other things, right? Like you've mentioned, like if I'm on controller, but like everyone else is too, and it's picking my moments where I have that advantage to pull this out, which is the part that I do think I'm missing, to pull this out to capitalize on that advantage when I have it.
Exactly. Oh, and the advantage can be something like timing, like weapon difference, armor difference, loot difference. Maybe it's even I need to kill this guy now. I have no advantage, but the like meta advantage is like, hey, we're in a 3v3. If I take this 1v1 now and kill this guy right now, we're set, right?
Yeah.
And if the chances of me dying are less likely because my team is like right here, right? So my teammates are also going to help, whatever, right? It could be a wide number of things. I'm kind of just laying the whole point of this is the groundwork fundamental to build off of, right? You'll start identifying, oh, when I shouldn't, should this, XYZ flowchart and stuff, right? Everything I talk about is very abstract and reductionist. So when we start playing in game, things get a little bit more complicated with like geometry and all that stuff. Okay. Yeah. So you don't have any questions directly about anything that I talked about?
Not yet.
Okay.